Hi everyone, it's Nancy, your over 40 princess, and this is Fitness Friday. Welcome back. You're back, right? You're not scared, didn't run away. Okay, today is a question and answer session, and I hope I get a lot of the questions answered because I've had a few. And yes, my hair is wet. I just got out of the shower and it is 12:34. The kids who sleep in late are home and the other two are at grandma's. So I got to sleep in a little late today, which is something that it just doesn't happen. The first one is, I'm in a wheelchair. How can I exercise? Well, PBS is a television show that's very popular, which I don't remember the name of, but I'll try to find it and put it in the sidebar. A woman who does wheelchair exercises. If you can move just about moving something, getting your body moving. If you're paralyzed and you can't move your legs, but you can still move your arms, move them. Now, if you're paralyzed from the neck down, you're obviously going to need physical therapy to keep the muscles intact. The next thing is, and this is more of a beauty thing than a fitness thing, if you use chapped lipstick on your lips, and this is my own personal container, so I have no problem doing this. You'll make it so your lips can't produce their own oil. Ladies and gentlemen, there are no oil glands in your lips. You must use some kind of moisturizer when they're dry to keep them moisturized. They're not going to get used to it. They're not going to stop producing oil. They can't. There are no oil glands. If you don't, you're going to get premature wrinkled lips. I have wrinkly lips. Brown my lips isn't, but my lips themselves have those lines in them. And they're normal, but, it makes it hard to put liner on when they do the whole wash thing. Okay, back to fitness tips. I worked out so hard that I'm in pain and I can't move today. Tough. Get up, move, stretch, something, anything. The best cure for DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, is movement. It's when you have flooded your muscles with lactic acid. Now, they used to believe that lactic acid was a negative result of exercise. They now know that that is the material that builds your muscles. And in order to get away from that stiffness and soreness that will literally send you to bed for 3 days if you've overdone it, don't do it again. A little sore is fine. So sore you can't go to the restroom is just pathetic. Or get off the toilet. Help, pull me up! Yes, I've done that. Is not good for you. That means you pushed it way too far the day before. This is a rule. It's called the 10% rule. You start out with a reasonable amount of exercise, 10 minutes a day. If you've not been exercising for a long time, if you're exercising for 15 minutes a day, let's kick it up to 20. The next week you are allowed to add 10%. Now, that means 10% harder or 10% longer. That does not mean 10% longer and harder. No. Get your brain out of the gutter. I see you in there. Gutter free! Alright. So, if you're working out for 20 minutes a day and you want to go next week a little harder, go for 22 minutes. If working out with a higher level is part of your routine, you can take a half of one of those minutes and keep it at your higher level and then go back down. I always do a varied routine. And I don't use one of those, both of my exercise bike and my treadmill. Yes, treadmill. I mean, who wants to run like a mouse for cheese that you're never going to get anywhere? I don't mind biking because I can put something on my TV that makes it look like I'm going somewhere, even if I'm not. The treadmill, they all have programs up and down, up and down. I don't like those. I'd rather do my own. I get to a certain point in the workout and I bump, 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 and go as long as I can at the bump, 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 and don't keep track of how long I'm going until I literally can't do it anymore, and then I go back down. The goal is to make it easier over time. When I'm outside running, it's street lamps, and I'm starting. It's 2 street lamps run, 1 street lamp walk, or telephone poles in the area that doesn't have the street lamps. I'm uptight about it. Number 3. I found this there pill on the internet, and it says if I follow this one rule, I will lose all stomach fat. You cannot spot reduce. When you see a man with a beer gut, or you gain weight in the stomach area, and you are an apple shape, that is your omentum. Your omentum is a lacy sac or caul. Caul is a word that can be used for 2 terms. It's anything that embraces something else. A caul is what they call a child, that born in the caul, it means they're born in the sac, and they're supposed to have special properties or powers. But it's basically the sac, the membrane that surrounds a baby, or in this case, it's a lacy membrane that surrounds your part of your innards. Now, the caul holds the belly fat. When you see a man with a really hard tummy sticking out, he puts his weight on in his caul, and that's dangerous fat. That needs to be booted, because that's someone with a heart attack waiting to happen. If you put your weight on in your booty, you're still at some risk for some obesity issues, but not your stomach. My waist was always much smaller than the rest of me, so I never worried about a heart attack until I got so heavy that, it was just a matter of time. I've had so many questions about gastric bypass. What finally drove me to a gastric bypass? Okay, I'll tell you what finally drove me to a gastric bypass. I went to Cedar Point, which I love, 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 love. I think I've told you this story before. If I have, just click the X. And I went to get on the Raptor, and they couldn't fit the belts around me, and I had to get off. It's my favorite ride of all time. It broke my heart. And it wasn't that I can't fit into a seat anymore, it's my kids. Will I be there for my grandkids? Lastly, vegetables? Really? Yeah, you need to clean yourself out with fiber, and vegetables are a really good way to do it. You don't need a special cleanse, because I don't care. When they look into you and do a scope, colon scope, they're seeing, unless they run into patches of stuff, it's pretty whistle clean. Your body is really, really good at cleaning itself. If you eat fiber, Raisin Bran, the heavier breads, the vegetables, you're going to clean your colon out just fine without buying any special colon things that kill all the parasites in your body. I'm not saying you don't have them. I'm saying that eat more garlic, that kills parasites in your body. And eat more fiber. Seriously. I know, it takes longer. But colon cleanses are probably the silliest thing on the market today, because people believe they can lose weight after a colon cleanse. Now, this is not the same thing as an enema, and I don't want you to confuse the two. Lots of people have enemas, and there's nothing wrong with them, especially the medical enemas, and especially if you're backed up. So, there's the answer to a few questions. Some disgusting, some not, but have fun, go out, enjoy Fitness Friday, go shopping, play with your